Hi, I'm Collette Uche. I am a content strategist and this is my Enugu story. Okay, the difference between the Enugu of then and now, I've actually seen a lot because I used to live in Enugu between 2000 and 2012, and coming back years after I found out. Okay, I'll go back first to the secondary school because I actually attended secondary school here, Command Enugu. Yeah. Anyway, so we used to be quite punctual. The school culture was a lot different. I remember we used to be late at 7:30 and we had punishment, like we had soldiers giving us the weirdest punishment because we were late to school. And as at last year, I was around and I was going somewhere around 9 a.m. and I saw kids on the road and I was wondering, like, what's happening? What changed? And I got discussing with people and they said that they had to take away the discipline and they had to take away the corporal punishment and all of that in secondary schools, and there's a bit more, it's more lax these days, and I don't know if it's a good thing. It's just a difference I've seen between then and now. I noticed that there's more of a cultural identity these days because then everybody wanted to have a fancy name, you know. You wanted to have Anastasia Bakery, some fancy stuff going on. But brands these days around here are trying to identify more with the Igbo culture, telling our stories. We have brands with names like Oriri, we have brands like Okike. Like, these are indigenous names and people are really, really into it. They don't really want to sound foreign. They don't want to be the Lagos of the East or any other fancy thing anybody's trying to say. And I think I would attribute this to having a lot of stars who started out from here. We have Flavor, we have Fino, Zoro. We have more people who are really proud to say, oh, I started in Enugu and this is where I am now. So the identity, the cultural identity is a good thing. It works. It's commendable. I wish more states would actually emulate that. We need more people. We need more of us to tell our own stories from our own perspective. My best Enugu memory. I have a lot of good, awesome memories in Enugu because most of my friends live in Enugu. Live or lived in Enugu, so I had most of my family. Before I became an adult, before I started adulting and getting responsibilities, I had a lot of good times in Enugu. So it's kind of hard for me to say. See, I'll give my top 5 because there are a lot. So I remember I really enjoyed Roadblock. Yes, I'm going to mention that again. I really enjoyed Roadblock. I enjoyed this is going to be hard. I was in UNN, but I enjoyed my time in UNN. I didn't enjoy the studies. I enjoyed my friends, you know, going out and all of that. And most of the events we used to have, because of proximity, we used to be in Enugu, so we'll come around and do our stuff and go back. There used to be the fashion show. I've forgotten the branch who organized it then, but they came around with their models and the after parties. Those were great memories. Yeah, checking out new spots for local delicacies and Nkwobi, Abacha. Yeah, that was nice. I think they're still there now, but I think the people I do it with are no longer here, so I think I could put that to past tense. The 5th one, every other thing I didn't mention. So yeah, those are my favorite Enugu memories. Enugu traditions that stick with me are, first and foremost, if I'm to dance any traditional dance, I go the Enugu way. My people don't have, no, they don't have. It's more of a body move. It's not really like as rigorous as the Enugu dance. So that Enugu dance is right there. I don't know what they call it, but I do it. It's the shoulder and the back and the waist movement and the hands and everything. And then I really enjoy the Ogene music. Then again, I learned to speak Igbo in this town, and that's not going anywhere. Like, if I were to speak Igbo now, I'm going to sound like an Enugu tout. I'm sorry, but it's just the reality. I learned to speak like Enugu street Igbo. So it's the tradition per se, and it's there. It's not going anywhere. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I speak Enugu straight Igbo. Thank you. Oh, the best thing about Enugu for me is the familiarity. I don't know if this is true, but I don't feel like I feel like I belong here. I'm from Anambra, but I feel like I could go anywhere here and I could easily blend in, and I'm used to the people because I practically grew up here, and I identify as an Enugu girl, and I like the changes I'm seeing. You know, I know there's been a lot of buyouts, you know, when clubs go from answering one name to changing the name and then changing to a whole lot different thing altogether. So the favorite thing about Enugu for me has to be the fact that I'm comfortable here with the food, with the people, with the language, with moving around the city. I would always come back here some way. I always come back. I can't even help it at this point. I don't know if it has to do with the environment or what they've been told, the views they've been told growing up or something, but majority feel like a woman is pretty much beneath, or a woman is not less, but a woman should worship. And then I had a crazy experience. That was in 2015, yes. It was supposed to be at the hotel, and it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice at all because I had a couple of men gang up on me because I refused to stay. I was to book a hotel room, and I made the mistake of paying before checking the room out. So I asked for a refund, and I was told the manager had gone with the money. So I was trying to get back my money to get somewhere else to stay. And there was this back and forth. And when the manager came, the first thing he said to me was, "I know your type." And then I asked him, "You know my type, how?" He said, "All these people that come out from Lagos and they just want to show themselves." I'm like, "I'm not showing myself. If you didn't want my money, then you wouldn't have taken it in the first place. You don't have to tell me you know my type or try to, you know, push a stereotype on me. All I'm asking for is this place is not good, or you give me a better room, or you give me the money back." And then a couple of men came around. They tried to, because you know voices were being raised and all. A couple of men came around. They were trying to get me to keep quiet. Like, you know, you're talking to the manager like that. I'm like, he came around screaming at me first of all. Like, didn't you guys see this? And now I'm trying to talk back. I'm trying to let him understand that you don't talk to people like that. It doesn't matter whether the person is a man, woman, hermaphrodite, whatever the person wants to be. You cannot do this. It's not how to act. You give me better service or you give me back the money. And then they weren't looking at the fact that I wasn't getting the value for what I wanted and I wasn't getting back my money. All they were on was, "You don't talk to him. Imaro no okay. Don't you know he's a man? He's a man. He's a man." And I'm like, so what happens to me? I'm a woman. And then the funniest part, the room service guy came up to me and said, "You're talking to my oga like that, I will slap you." It was a lot because nobody wanted to know the problem. The only thing they saw there was, why would a woman talk back to their oga? So I guess it's probably okay if I was a guy talking back to the oga, or it's probably fine if I was a different gender and I asked for my money. Maybe he would have given me more respect. So there's this discrimination. It's very open, and it's a reason why many people are not comfortable with taking most of these services that are men only. So it would go a long way if we could work on that mindset. I don't know how we're going to do it. If more people get to know about it, maybe they'll consciously watch it. But that is my perception about Enugu men. Oh yes! Hey, Jesus! Can I talk? The myths about Enugu. First of all, if you're coming here, you're a core member, you're new, you know, you're like from Lagos, you want a party location, you want a picnic, and anybody tells you Akuke Beach, do not go. Akuke Beach is not a beach. Akuke Beach is, you know where they used to go and pack sand to build house? That is what Akuke Beach is. I'm serious. There's no water. You know, when you say beach, you're thinking of, you know, this big water body with sand and all. I'm not kidding. Okay, this is my serious face now. Akuke Beach is not a beach. It is a, it's not sand fill. It's where you go to get, I'm really serious. Forget I was joking. Where you go to get sand for building. Like when you get there, you see the big trucks. You see like the northern families, you know, these nomads with their cows. That's where their cows rest. They have thatch houses there. And it's not easily accessible. So when you're in the vicinity, they know you're new. It's not safe. It's quite dangerous. So most times when you're going there, people tell you, you go with an indigene. You go with someone that knows the place well. Because I remember the day I was going with my friends. We were just 3 girls. Bad move. Don't do that. Please, if you're a girl, don't go there alone. Go with at least. If you're 3 girls, go with ×2, 6 guys. Okay, so between 2008, 2013, that was when I was in the university. We used to come around a lot to Enugu because Osuka, you know what Osuka is. So we used to come around a lot to Enugu, and my favorite spots to hang out in was where Afro Lounge. I think it changed to something else, and it's something else. I don't even know if it's still a club now. And Orange Room. Then on the streets, because like I mentioned earlier, you know, checking out local delicacies and all that. And then when ShopRite opened, that was my 3rd year, and we used to come around to window shop because we didn't have money for mango, but that was on the past. Anyways, then the theater, the cinemas, they used to have recent movies when they started, and they had a student discount, but I don't know what happened. They started showing the same movie for over 12 weeks. And they kind of, but I think it's better now because we have at least 2 different cinemas, so there's a competition, and if you don't have it, the next person has it. If your prices aren't good, the next person is there to give cheaper rates. So it's nice. I think Enugu has grown in some places, and other places it kind of went down, but we're good. Once again, I'm Collette, and that's my Enugu story on BlueprintAfric TV. For more stories like mine, I think a lot of people have stories about Enugu, so remember to subscribe and, you know, stay safe, stay healthy. COVID is real.